Welcome to Vaishya IAS. So we'll be continuing with the Plums series of polity, governance and schemes today. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing this channel so that you will be getting daily free updates on UPSC. And if you're looking for a good quality test series, then you can contact the number which is given on the screen 7200681675. Let's move on to the first question. First question reads, how many statements about Indian are correct about the Indian model of secularism? Okay, so the first statement is inter-religious tolerance. Yes, we know that inter-religious tolerance, Indian model of secularism, it is a bit different from the Western model. Okay, so from the exam point of view, it is important for you to know the difference between what is Western model of secularism versus what is Indian model of secularism. If I have to make it more clear, the Indian model of secularism is a bit more liberal, okay, more liberal. Whereas the Western model, it is a bit strict, okay. So this is the key difference. So inter-religious tolerance, it is a correct statement. So one is there, deals with religious freedom of minorities where an individual has the right to profess the religion of his or her choice, and the religious minorities also have a right to exist and to maintain their own culture and educational institution. This is even said in fundamental rights. Okay, the fundamental rights starting from article number 25, the right to religion. In that right to religion, we have these points. So even the second statement is also correct. Then third, compatible with the state supported religious reform. So this is the main difference between the Western and Indian model. In the Western models, the state is like completely detached from religion, whereas in Indian model there is a coexistence. Okay, the state is not completely against the religion, but the state rather emphasizes upon the coexistence of all the religions. The peaceful existence of all the religions is what the Indian model of secularism is constantly talking about. So all the statements are correct. All three statements are correct in this question. C. Then the next question, how many statements are correct about Mahatma Gandhi concept of non-violence? In UPSC, the question about Gandhi, okay, whatever question is coming that we don't know, maybe UPSC sometimes is digging more deeper into the contents, but whatever it is, a question from Gandhi is sure. Okay, a question from Gandhi is sure. What I would suggest is, whenever you are browsing through your YouTube, Google, etc., whenever you are seeing documentaries or some articles related to Gandhi, please read, and if possible, please make notes out of it. Most probably they will be asking questions from current affairs also. So whatever you are seeing, articles, news articles, etc., you have to take a special note if in case Gandhi is coming in that context. Okay, so a question from Gandhi will be sure anyhow. First statement reads, non-violence meant not just refraining from causing physical harm, mental harm, or loss of livelihood. It also meant giving up even the thought of harming someone. Yes, this is true. So from this first statement itself, you can use this directly for the mains also. What is non-violence? If some question is coming, okay, you can relate this. Non-violence, it is not about causing only physical harm. It is not just talking about physical harm. It is not limited to physical harm. Rather, it is related to mental harm, then livelihood, then it is actually against harming someone. It is the thought of harming someone. Even the thought of harming someone, it is against the non-violence. So first statement is correct. Then yeah, along with the first statement, there is another sentence. Gandhi's notion of violence was close to structural violence. Now, I want you to go and search what is structural violence. This is a keyword, and this also you can use in mains. Okay, in many areas you can use this. So, what is structural violence and how it is connected with non-violence, that you have to search. Here, first statement is correct. Second, Ahimsa required an element of conscious compassion. Again, please take note of these keywords. It is going to help you very much in your mains answer writing if you are giving to put these kind of words. So always try to integrate the prelims and mains. Okay. So first you have to go and search what is structural violence, and second, conscious compassion. Uh, that is the word meaning only, the regular English meaning. The compassion with consciousness. You have to be compassionate. That's it. But when you are giving this as a keyword, it is going to be more powerful. The paper will be looking more powerful and more impressive to the examiner. So second is correct. Gandhi supported passive spiritualism. No, this is a wrong statement. In the first sight, you may think this is a correct statement since this is a generalized statement, and the statement itself is framed in such a way that the candidate will get tricked. Yeah, it's a simple statement, it's a general kind of statement, so more probability it will be correct. If you don't know what is passive spiritualism, then there are high chances that you may mark it wrong. Here Gandhi was against spiritualism. Okay, Gandhi was against the passive spiritualism, but in the statement it is given he supported passive spiritualism. So this 3 is incorrect. 1 and 2 are correct. So how many statements are correct? Only 2 statements, since 3 is incorrect. Gandhi opposed passive spiritualism. Okay, now next question, which is incorrect. Okay, so this is also one important question. Always read the question carefully, which is incorrect. What is the question asking? Whether they are asking to pick up the correct statement or the incorrect statement. Okay, here it is incorrect. So keeping that in mind, read the statements. Constitution provides for the reservation of seats in Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Yes, correct statement. This provision was made initially for a period of 12 years and as a result of successive constitutional amendments had been extended up to 2030. Okay, so there is a problem in the statement. It's a simple statement actually. It's a static portion from Lakshmikant. It was initially made for not 12 years but for 10 years. Okay, so in the exam tension, these kind of points might not be visible to your mind and eyes. Okay, so please read the question carefully. You have to learn how to attend these kind of questions in the exam setting, bearing the exam pain and pressure. Okay, so here even if you are able to do, you should be able to do the same in the exam pressure and pain. Okay, so here it is not 12 years, it is 10 years. Okay, then so we got the answer. This is the incorrect statement. So obviously automatically C and D has to be correct. Even though it is like that, I will read the statements. The parliament can take a decision to further extend it when the period of reservation expires. Yes, normally parliament is the core body which will be taking decisions in these kind of matters, whether to extend the reservations, whether to curtail the reservations and all. Okay, so recently Anglo-Indian reservation was also taken down. Okay, it was curtailed. Then the next statement is number of seats reserved for both the groups is in proportion to their share in population of India. So there is no fixed number. It is always in relation with the proportion. Okay, so in relation with the proportion of these scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, a particular portion of reservation will be given. Okay, particular set of reservations will be given in proportion to their population. So the proportion is the keyword here. So here the incorrect statement is B. Come to the next question. Which of the following statements are correct? Fundamental rights are protected and enforced by ordinary law, may be changed by legislature by ordinary process of lawmaking. Whereas ordinary rights are protected and guaranteed by the Constitution, may only be changed by amending the Constitution itself. A fairly easy question. From the first statement itself, you can derive that the first statement, it is talking about the ordinary process. So anyway, logically thinking, fundamental rights are not so simple that it can be changed by legislature through a simple ordinary process. Then in that case, it's not going to be any type of fundamental rights. Okay, so the options have been swapped actually. So in the first statement, the explanation is regarding the ordinary rights, whereas in the second statement, it is talking about constitution. So it is fundamental rights. So constitution, whenever it comes, it resonates with the fundamental rights. And the other thing, first statement is actually talking about the ordinary rights. So here it is simply interchanged. Okay, so this is a typical model which can be seen in two statement questions. The statements may be interchanged. So here the correct answer comes out to be neither 1 nor 2, since both the statements are incorrect. Now come to the next question. Which is correct about executive? A. Responsible for the implementation of laws and policies adopted by the legislature, it is often involved in the framing of policy. The executive branch is not just about the presidents, prime ministers and ministers only. Then, permanent executive involves the heads of the government and their ministers who are saddled with the overall responsibility of the government policy. And D statement is talking about the political executive. Here there is a small mistake. Executive branch is just, not is not there. Okay, so the second statement read like the executive branch is just about the presidents, prime ministers and ministers only. Okay, so here is this statement correct? No, B is incorrect. Why? Executive branch, it also involves civil servants, the the field which you are thriving for. Okay, so civil servants are an integral part of the executive. This you should be knowing. It's a commonsensical knowledge, and as a UPSC aspirant, you should know this fact. Here it is talking executive branch is limited to president, prime minister and ministers only, but it also involves civil servants. So B is incorrect. Come to the A, responsible for the implementation of laws and policies adopted by the legislature, and it is involved in framing of policy. Even though you may get confused in the second part of the statement, it is also correct. Executive branch is also involved in the framing of policy. The legislature, the duty or the functioning is a bit more limited than the executive. Okay, in function, legislature is limited than executive. Executive is wider and more powerful. Okay, so first statement is correct statement. So we know we have now picked up the correct statement. Now we have to know why the other two statements are incorrect. So here the same logic applies here. It is interchanged. C and D are interchanged. Actually, C is talking about the political executive. Okay, here it is given as permanent executive. Political executive, it involves the heads of government, ministers, etc. because they are the political system. Then the permanent executive is which is responsible for the day-to-day administration. Now today's homework for you will be, you have to go and search what is permanent executive and what is the constituent parts of it. So please go and search this. Okay, don't forget. Okay, that's the end of today's session. So we'll meet in the next week in the next episode. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you.